What's shaking, everybody? No, ladies. Those girls are getting big. Getting real big. So, you may be wondering what we're going to do with these chickens. They're getting a little bigger. They'll be getting too big for that cornhole pretty soon, which is good. They're growing great. And we probably won't get any eggs out of them, I think, until August. So we still got a ways to go, but weather's going to be getting nice. They need to be able to get outside. They're getting a little too big for the little feeders we got for them. So what do we do with them? Well, the people that had this place before us that had chickens, they run them on the floor in the barn. I think they kept the cornhole open, let them run all around here, and then they let them run out that door into a little pen. Well, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like them pooping all over the concrete floor. I understand why the people did it that way, but I got other plans for this stuff. Like, I got these little things right here. I can take boards off on the other side. I can run bottle kibs through there. That's what they're designed for, is to feed bottle kibs. It'd be nice to do that without chickens running through here. So, open this up. I changed things up a little bit. Close that up there. So, these nice people that had this place, they had things done up a little different. So they had this panel right here. They had it unhooked from the post, and they had it wired up back over here so the chickens could use both sides of this outer portion of the barn. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So we get goats, or we get little calves, we get a horse, whatever we get. I want to be able to use a portion of this just for that. So we got little goats, we got little calves. It gets too hot. I got a nice little fan there, blow some air, keep them cool. So today I went out here and I unwired everything off of that panel. I reattached the panel where it is so it'll move. So I can keep critters out of that side if I don't want them in there. And it's not filled with a bunch of fence. So then I took that chicken fence, or whatever kind of fence this is. I call it chicken fence. Probably not what it is, but I pulled it back, and then I took it all the way along this galvanized fencing right here. I run it to that post so they can't get through there. Double layered it all the way up. They run back out to what they got, and I'll flip you around here. But you can see they got a clean shot outside. Got my feeder turned over there. Bricks, put the waters on. So they got a nice open area. So this gives those chickens, when they get a little bigger, a place that they can come inside out of the weather, inside out of the sun, the heat, if they want to get out that way. And we'll also put their roosts in here, and I think we'll probably put them underneath that fan there. So they can lay their eggs, but they can play around in here, they can play around outside, they can do whatever they want to do. And that'll work out just peachy. So it's not the best setup. We don't have a chicken coop, but I think it'll work out pretty good, where they're able to play outside, do their thing, able to sit in here if they need to. I think it'll work out just fine. And then that gives me the option to utilize the other side of this barn on the outer portion and be able to run everything outside if I need to, run it in, run it out, do what I got to do. So that'll work. And I also have it set up on the other side, which I would show you if the wind wasn't blowing near as bad as what it is anyway. But I could run them around the other side. I can switch one of the gates I got over there. It's a panel gate, kind of like that other one, just a little longer. and I can run whatever in to the other side of the barn where all that chicken poop was that I just showed you guys. So lots of different things I can do. And also, those are the boards I was talking about. We take those boards off, we can shove the bottle kibs through there. It'll work out just peachy. And if you got little bottle kibs, they're not too hard to maneuver. You can literally pick the things up, push them where you want to push them. So works out great. So working on that fence or whatever in there, that little chicken area, is kind of what I've been doing today after I fed cows this morning. Double fed since it's Sunday. I'm gonna mess with that. The wife had one of her friends over and they had their little hen party or get together or whatever you want to call it. So I came out here and did that. Need to get done. Chickens are getting bigger. Another thing that I really need to get done that I can't do right now, and I can't do it because, one, nobody around here has barbed wire for some reason. Probably have to special order it through a lumberyard the way it's looking. And number two, don't have time. Got to get little man's room done, and we got a few other things to do in the house before I can even think about doing stuff out here. But this right here is what we call horse wire. And I'll flip you around and explain it a little bit. So this is what we call horse wire. This looks like barbed wire without the barbs, without the little pokey deals. The reason you call it horse wire is you put it up to keep horses in. It's barbless wire. It's not going to hurt your horse. I got a bunch of it here. I got this full roll. I got that brand new full roll. I got at least one in the garage, and I might have another one in here somewhere. So what would a guy have horse wire for? Well, you would have it for horses, obviously. I mean, there's a reason you call it horse wire. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But the kid that built this, and I shouldn't say kid, he's probably much older than I am by this point. But he's working for a farmer, and he had this place he's renting from that farmer, and he had horses out here. They had a little bit of pasture out there, and everything kind of worked together. So he put up all these fences, and he did a decent job. The fence wires weren't as tight as I would like, but he put up horse wire for two reasons. One, it's cheaper, and two, well, if you got horses, you don't need barbed wire. So he did that all the way around, and he run horses out here. Well, he worked for my boss when their kid come back from college, and then he went on to different things. I think he went to go farm for himself or something or another, and it is what it is. Well, the other tenants that stayed in this place, they didn't do much. So they had some horses come in here at one point, but they had way too many, and then it was just a fiasco on this whole deal. And then they had goats that came in here, and well, these fences aren't going to hold goats in. Well, the fences have kind of fallen into disrepair. The posts are pretty good, but none of the wire is tight. It was kind of set up to carry a current, to run an electric fencer, which isn't a bad idea, but it wasn't great how they set it up. Everything was loose. I don't like it. I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to replace all that horse wire with barbed wire. It's going to be an extensive process. I think I got about 6 acres of grass, plus this little corral thing I got here behind these doors. So it's going to take a little bit. It's going to be a little pricey and be a good summer job, but we got other things that we got to do inside the house before I can even think about doing all this stuff out here, because it's going to be kind of a labor-intensive deal for me where I'm going to be out there all day running fence. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be fun. I enjoy doing it, but I got other obligations before I can do that. So we got to get stuff done in the house, and then I got to go out here and fix these. I'll fix all this fence, and then we might be able to think about getting something. I would like to get a couple of bred cows and run some hay with them. We could get some bottle calves if that's what the wife wants to do. We could get a couple of heifers, grow them up a little bit, and we could AI them. We could go get some baby steers and sell them as yearlings at sale barn. I mean, we could do a lot of different things. If we could get the hay in here, and we could run more, we could just bunk feed them. But that's neither here nor there at this point. We could also run goats, but to run goats, you got to have better fence, because goats will get out and goats will eat everything. And I also have another problem out there, which I will show you guys momentarily. Well, I really wish that it wasn't blowing like it is right now, but it is blowing just horrible bad here for the past couple of weeks. But I'd love to be able to get out and show you guys everything that I'd be talking about. But we're going through right here. We need a couple of gates. We need one that goes in the pasture and one that'll close off the corral area. But in here in this pasture, other than doing the fence all the way around and having a little wash that we got to take care of on the other side, not to mention all the cedars that popped up in here, and people that come and dump their bricks and whatnot out here because they didn't use it. That guy that I was telling you about that built all this horse fence for his horses, he wanted irrigated pasture, and good reasons why. But the farmer he was working for that had this place before my boss bought it has this cornfield right up ahead of me. And, well, that cornfield over there, it all wraps around. But in here, they run a pivot. The last leg of the pivot with the end gun runs through here. And I'll kind of show you guys what we're looking at. So what you're looking at right there is like a ramp you would make for a four-wheeler. Well, it goes over, and there you see the pivot tracks. So the pivot goes through there, and then tracks all the way through. So, that's not a bad idea for someone that really needs that, but the opening right there is a little too big for my liking. It works great for a horse. The horse has no real reason to get out. Cattle, they explore. If they really want to get out, they'll get out, but I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Then you got the other deal. If you get cattle out here, you don't want cattle rubbing up against that pivot. It's not my pivot. It shouldn't be any of my concern, but cattle can wreck a lot of different things. Those pivots are built very strong, but you don't want a cow to wreck that pivot. You don't want them to rip that, bend anything and make something not work. And the other thing, you don't want the cattle to run around and step inside that pivot track and break a leg. And I should actually go talk to these people and see if they want me to put some lava rock down, because those pivot tracks are pretty deep right through there. But I got to figure out how to take care of that. And I actually thought about following that pivot track and running either a couple of hot wires, or running some new fence posts in there on the one side, and then stockpile on the other side for when it gets a little cooler. But then again, why? I really don't know what the plan is, and I don't know if we're even going to get anything to put out here, you know what I mean? I would like to someday. I definitely would like to get cows, or I'd like to get a horse, but it's just one of those things that all in time, you know what I mean? And then we got other little issues we got to worry about. I mean, we got all this fence to fix out here, or fence to build, or however you want to look at it. I got to come out here and cut some of these cedar trees. Then I got to figure that whole pivot track situation out, and then I got to make gates, and I could either try to go get panels, or if I don't get panels, I could go out and I could make some barbed wire gates for it, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see what it gets to. It's just a really big project that's going to need to be undertaken. And it's a project I'm up for, and a project that I'm going to enjoy. It's just something that needs to be done, and it's going to get done. It's just going to take time, money, and patience. In case you're wondering what that was, it was a badger hole. And hopefully I filled it in, because badgers are bad. Badgers are very bad. Now, you might or might not be able to see over there, but they got some stuff wrapped around over there. They were throwing branches and grass clipping stuff in, which don't bother me. But over there, I got a couple of messed up gates. Got tree trunks. I got boards over here. I have bricks and big chunks of concrete. And I come over here and I mowed with zero turn, just try to get a path around everything. First off, so I could drive the pickup through here and fix fence. And second, so I could kind of see what was out here. And I wasn't very happy to find that, but at least it's next to these trees that are, well, I'm pretty sure they're just dead as dead can be. I don't know if they'll come back in when it gets a little warmer or not. One other thing I forgot to mention too, that I doubt I'll be able to show you guys right away here, but people that had this before we got into it, they wanted to clean up a bunch of twigs and sticks and branches and brush, and so they were good mowing people, but they went out and they took all those sticks and that brush and they threw it into the stock tank. So I've been slowly cleaning that out and trying to get rid of it, burning what I could, because we got burn barrels here, but that's just been something. But I guess if you don't have livestock, it's more or less just a catch-all for you, so I can't really blame them. And I also have a tractor tire that they got over here that I think was probably going to be turned into a planter, because I got a bunch of planters they built and threw all over the place out here. Some look decent, some look like trash. But I think I could probably use that tractor tire as a makeshift water tank too, out in the pasture. I could go find a place to put it. But like I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Nothing to worry about now. But that has really been my Sunday. I got up, I fed, come back here, and I actually picked up the little man and we went over to Holdridge and went to a couple different stores. Had to go get some chicken feed and whatnot. And I come home, worked on that deal in the barn for the chickens, and drove around the fence line and kind of disgusted myself over that deal. And then we went to the grocery store and Walmart and all that good stuff to go get some groceries for the week or the couple of weeks, and came back home. So I decided to do this and play around. Got a new tripod and all kinds of fun stuff. See how that's going to work. My wife is thrilled with it, so oh well. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my simple little Sunday, and I hope you're all having a good weekend yourselves, or a good week, or whenever you watch this. And as always, I thank you all for watching.